Welcome to another mobile edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys, I'm a retired New York City police detective with 20 plus years of law enforcement. And if you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. And today we're going to talk about Trezell and Jacqueline West requesting visitation from their two biological and two adoptive children. And we're going to discuss the outrage of that and what the defense attorney's plan or angle is with something so ridiculous as such. And if you feel it's ridiculous, let me know down below in the channels, in the comment section below the channel. Guys, special thank you to the Patreon supporters, the channel members, and everybody who positively engages in all of these live streams. You guys are an intricate part of making this a great place. And I am so honored and proud to have you guys as part of this community. And I thank you. I thank you so very much. Again, today at about 10:05 Pacific time, around 10 o'clock, there was a hearing or motions placed by the defense for Trezell and Jacqueline West. Now, these are two very vile, evil, sick monsters who are standing accused of murder in the second degree in a very heinous fashion. They are now charged with sincere and classic Orrin and Orson West's death. And they've got the audacity to request through their attorneys for their continuation of their visitation rights that they had 10 months prior. Don't forget, their children, the two biological and their two adoptive, were removed. And those of us who are following this case closely, let me know by a show of hands how many of us here have been following this case closely. I'm going to say me right away. I'm putting my hand up. We've all been following this case very closely. Their children were removed from them a very short time after they made up that ridiculous story. And before also I go fully into this, I want to say thank you to Jolene Smith for heading me off at the pass while I'm at work. She sent me the info. I really would have known that it happened. So thank you, Jolene. This is just, again, another testament to all of the good people who follow Crime Time with DutyRon and send in stuff to me. I got rid of the little banner because I felt like it was cutting off a lot of my head there. So it was distracting for me to look at that banner. So I got rid of it. Just by a show of hands in the chat, how many people are outraged just by the sheer fact that Trezell and Jacqueline West, through their attorneys, would even have the audacity to request visitation rights? So what are you trying to say? That you want someone to bring your children to the jail where you're being held so you can have visitation with them? Or are you suggesting that you be released from jail temporarily and brought to a safe place where you can go and visit your kids? It's just ridiculous. It's the audacity of even the defense attorneys to tell them, yeah, I think this is a good idea. Now, this is my thinking, and I could be wrong. I feel that the criminal defense attorneys, we all love Joe Murray, but we love to hate our defense attorneys. We love to hate on the criminal defense attorneys. These are the people who are taxed with defending monsters, evil, sick, demonic monsters like Trezell and Jacqueline West. These folks, I feel their angle was, hey, we know that the court is not going to grant this to us. We know the district attorney is going to try to block it, which they did. But the criminal defense attorney's mindset is, hear me out on this, guys. A criminal defense attorney's mindset is, well, if we ask for visitation rights, even though we know they're going to say no, we could present to a jury when you're being tried that you're good parents and that you care about your children. I feel it's a defense. Holy cap. Look at this. Holy cow. For the very first time, we have Firm Heine, who is a good friend, who's a good friend from outside of the United States, checking in on a live chat for the very first time. This is a good friend of mine, very good supporter, someone who always leaves comments for me. I've never once seen her in a live chat. It's always great to see you. Thank you for joining. So I think that it is just, listen, guys, who agrees with me that this is a potential angle that a criminal defense attorney is going to play on the jury when this trial commences? They're going to say, look, we tried, we asked, our clients wanted to see their children. They were heartbroken over their children. And they wanted to see their children. It's a defense attorney's angle to play on the jury, to kind of get at them and say, hey, these aren't, the district attorney is portraying them as monsters. My client is not a monster. You see, Trezell West and Jacqueline West asked to see their surviving children, the ones they didn't kill. Come on, man. Where's my bleep machine? I was going to say, give me a effing break. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with that? Oh, God. All right, so I'm gonna do the painful thing that I didn't want to do, but I'm gonna read this out to you guys. So a lot of folks are agreeing. Kelly Ward agrees. Let's see who else. Have they seen them since they've been removed? Apparently, it looks like they were saying that they've had visitation rights for 10 months. So Kelly Ward agrees. A couple of folks, I am highlighting a couple of comments. Thank you for joining from Wales. Good to see you, Murray. Thank you so much. Donna Barnes is here. DP Info is saying hello. All right. So I think a lot of us are on the same page. A lot of us are on the same page with this. So I'm going to do what I kind of dreading having to do here. But here's the latest news from KGET. The California City couple charged with killing Sincere and Classic. They have them listed as Orrin and Orson West. We are going to call them by their birth names, Sincere and Classic. So the couple who are charged with killing Sincere and Classic are seeking to maintain visitation rights with their other 4 children. Prosecutors have filed a motion today to bar Trezell and Jacqueline West. That is the district attorney's office. As I said, they would file motion to bar Trezell and Jacqueline West from seeing their 2 biological children and their 2 remaining adoptive children out of concerns that the parents would try to influence their children regarding this criminal case. How about, it's dangerous to go and visit your parents inside a jail. It's dangerous to go and visit your parents who stand charged with murder in the 2nd degree of Sincere and Classic. Hey, news, KGET, get it right. If you're going to report it, get it right. Inside this statement should not only read that the district attorney says that they are trying to they filed a motion to bar Trezell and Jacqueline West from seeing their 2 biological children and their 2 remaining adoptive children out of concerns the parents would influence the children against regarding the criminal case. And I'm going to add in what else should be there. And these 2 stand charged with murder in the 2nd degree. They are dangerous and are not fit to see children. They've already killed 2. You want to give them rights to see the other children so they can finish the job? Give me a break. Sorry, guys. I get a little angry when I see stupid stuff. I mean, I'm not off base with this because really, you know, this report leaves out some really important parts. These 2 stand accused of murdering 2 adoptive children. You're going to let them see the other 2 adoptive children and their biological? You've lost that right, Trezell and Jacqueline West. You've lost that right. On Tuesday, that's today, Jacqueline West's attorney Miss Torres Stallings argued before Superior Court Judge Chad Louie that another court had provided a visitation schedule which had been in effect for the past 10 months, allowing both the Wests to see their children twice a week. She said there have been no instances where the Wests have spoken to or influenced the children about the case. How would she know that? How would she know that? And was she there during the course of those visitations? No. You just got assigned the case, Miss Criminal Defense Attorney. You just got assigned the case by the court, and you don't know shit about what was discussed when they had their biweekly visits. Oh my God. So Alexia Torres Stalling, the attorney for Jacqueline West, argued before the Superior Court Judge Chad Louie that another court, meaning probably family court, has provided a visitation schedule which has been in effect for the past 10 months, allowing both Jacqueline and Trezell West to see their children twice a week. This is before they got locked up for murder. Yeah, you could see your kids twice a week. That's the humane thing to do. But once you get dragged in and put in handcuffs and be charged with murder, second degree, you lose the right to come and see your children. You lose your right when these get clunked on you, when the clinkers come out, when you get put in lockdown, you now lose that right. The only reason they're suggesting that their clients should have visitation rights is so they could use it for their defense. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it. Chad Louie, that is the judge on the bench, said he needed to review the prior court order before making a ruling. He's expected to provide the order later in the day today. So I'm going to tell you right now that the judge is going to say request denied. You heard it first here on Crime Time with DutyRon. If I'm wrong, then I'll be shocked. And listen, I've been shocked before, but if I'm wrong, I would be shocked. Guys, if you're not yet subscribed to Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, please consider hitting the subscribe button. If you're not yet a channel member, consider becoming a channel member. We have some great ideas for channel members, exclusive content for those of you who become a channel member. And you can become a channel member for as low as $2.99 a month on YouTube, and you can cancel it at any time, or you can pay for it annually and you get a discount. I believe some people are offered the discount through YouTube. So consider becoming a channel member or supporting us through Patreon. We just we did that fundraiser last month for Equisearch in February. Dave Rader called me today and got the check from the fundraiser, $17,000, give or take a couple of pennies. Dave Rader and his organization just received, thanks to you guys, so generous donations like from you guys, $17,000, and that was for a 4-hour live stream that we did in February. He just got the payment today, and he says thank you to everybody. These are the folks who went out to California in Bakersfield and searched for Sincere and Classic. They also were on the search for Summer Wells. Several times they searched for Summer Wells, which coincidentally, Summer Wells, that case has turned into a shit show times 10. It is a shit show on steroids. It is disgusting, despicable, and disgraceful what some of the content creators, and I won't even call them content creators, what some of these creepy, really dysfunctional people are doing to Summer Wells. It's despicable, disgraceful, and I am just so sorry and sad for Summer Wells, because these people are disrespecting and making a mockery out of a little 5-year-old going on 6-year-old girl. It is despicable. It's disgraceful. And anybody that engages or that helps to egg on or participates in that type of rhetoric and live streaming and disgusting behavior, just unsubscribe from me immediately. And if for me, if I ever get wind that any of my people who come around here engage in that kind of behavior and support that kind of disgusting, despicable type of behavior, I'll have to just disassociate myself from you, because that is just so horrific. What I'm seeing nowadays is just so heart wrenching, and the one who pays the price for it is Summer Wells. It's disgusting, despicable. Back on to our boys. So Trezell and Jacqueline West. This is I have feelings that this is something that the defense is definitely going to use to their advantage, right? The defense is going to try to use this to their advantage by saying, and you're going to hear this. You know, I may be saying this a little bit early, but you're going to hear this when the trial comes up. Their defense is going to bring up, mark my words, their defense is going to bring up that they tried to get visitation for their other kids. And they're going to try to paint Trezell and Jacqueline West out to be these great parents, because that's their job. That's part of their job. And it is, again, I love Joe Murray. You know, there are great criminal defense attorneys out there. And in certain instances, they are very needed. They are needed across the board, because a lot of people get accused of crimes that they didn't commit. So you need someone to defend you. You need someone to stick up for your rights. Hold on. We got a new channel member. I want to just say thank you to that new channel member. Marsha Lambert, thank you for becoming a channel member. I greatly appreciate you tremendously. Thank you. Welcome to the Crime Time with DutyRon family. Trucker Steve is here. A lot of great people are coming in. DP Info Miss Donna Barnes is here. Nancy Eileen, TubeTube 883, Moonlight View, Shannon Candela. All of my great friends are here and hanging out. But, you know, they're going to use this to their advantage to try to paint a picture that these are good people. And we all know that they are not. They're the furthest from good. CW, good evening from Scotland. Good to see all my Scottish friends coming in, and people from outside the country. There he is. Let me take a little bit of a drink. So let me know in the chat, by a show of hands quickly. Let me know in the chat who's on board, who feels the same way I do about Trezell and Jacqueline West. JPL, JL the Stelladora, thank you for becoming a new channel member as well. I don't think I can get back to that one. Let me see if I can find that one. Hold on. Thank you, Delphine's Handcrafted. Thank you for becoming a channel member. If you guys aren't subscribed to some of my great friends like Police Off the Cuff, Joey Brooklyn, Fiber Floozy's Craft, Trucker Steve is here. Hey, Trucker Steve, hope you're being safe. Lauren McKenzie, let me know if you guys feel the same way I do about this. I really feel that this is just a show by the attorneys. They're trying to paint a picture that the Wests are good people. And they're going to talk about their family and Jacqueline's family and Trezell's family. And they're going to try to paint them out to being really nice people. We know that they're not really nice people. They are not. And I don't care what kind of flack I get for that. But they're on the outside. The picture that's painted of them that they tried to paint by putting out all these family blogs and family messages from the Wests and the NAACP and Jamal and all of those clowns. That's what I call them. They're clowns. In my eyes, they did nothing. They did nothing to try to bring justice for Sincere and Classic. All they did was try to hinder justice. They sent up a bullshit $30,000 reward that they knew they were never going to pay out. They had no invested interest in finding out what happened to these boys because they knew what happened to them. I feel like they all knew. You can't tell me that they didn't know something was going on. And I'll never feel that they didn't know anything and that they're just innocent victims. When I saw Wanda West crying on Good Morning America, I didn't shed one tear. I didn't even feel sorry for her. You know what I said to myself? My detective skills, my spidey skills, said to myself, she's full of shit. So, and I got a lot of flack from people about that. Like, oh, how dare you, DutyRon? How dare you? They're innocent until proven guilty. Well, guess what? I've seen enough guilty, murderous people right in front of me, right in front of my face. I've sat side by side, face to face, front to front, back to back. I've stood in the same room with murderers and had them look me straight in the eye and say, I did not do it. Guess what? They did it. So I go on my gut instincts. I go on my experience from being an experienced detective in the New York City Police Department. And I knew from the get-go that this family was up to no good. All right, let's finish this statement. So prosecutors have said the West's youngest adoptive son, Orrin and Orson, that's Sincere and Classic, were killed 3 months prior to them reporting them missing on December 21st of 2020 in California City. This judge is not going to grant that the wish of Trezell and Jacqueline West to see their children. Trezell West, 35, told the authorities that the boys were playing outside in their California City home while he gathered firewood December 21st of 2020. Bullshit. He also said briefly that he went inside and then he came back out and he was gone and they were gone. Doesn't this sound like Candace Wells' story that she told WHJLI or whatever that news station that interviewed her? Doesn't that sound familiar when Candace goes, I went over to my mother's and she was gone. She went inside, went downstairs to play with toys in the dungeon, and then she was gone. It's the same bullshit story. She said the same thing. It's almost like I think that her and Don watched these two and said, oh, if they got away with it, maybe we could get away with that story too. Just so you know, poof, Summer Wells was just gone. Yeah, open minds. That's a good one right there. Pathetic. So again, so he said that he went inside, came back outside, and they vanished. They just were gone. They vanished. Jacqueline West, 32, backed up his version of events. Two liars backing up each other. Two murderers. Two evil monsters backing up their own stories. Right away, from the get-go, when I saw Trezell and Jacqueline West give that interview, and we come to find out, thanks to our good friend Byun Wang from 23 ABC at the time, who is now at Denver 7, Byun Wang has come on to my show and said to me, DutyRon, that was not a planned interview with them. They just came outside and they decided on their own that they wanted to give that statement. I'm going to just ask one person right here. So here's a comment. If I see one more of those comments involving asking about another creator or another person who's involved in toxic stuff, I'm going to ask the moderators to take those comments out and block those people, because I do not want to have my channel tarnished with that filth, the filth that is going on with other people. If anybody mentions any of that here, if my moderators miss it, I'll go back and get it, and I will block every one of the people who mention these people's names, because those are despicable, disgusting people, and I don't want them mentioned here. Okay, I made one mention of it, and that is it. Let's just stop. This is not what Crime Time with DutyRon's about at all. Those people that are doing that and carrying on like jagaloons, acting like fools, I do not want them grandstanded on my channel. And if you have any respect for me, you won't do that ever again. Okay, if anybody does that here, then you're not a friend of my channel. All right, so please, as we were speaking, let me just get back and circle back to Trezell and Jacqueline West. They were from the get-go telling a story of lies, and everybody and anybody who watched that and thoroughly analyzed it knew that they were not telling the truth. So here they are inside jail, commiserating with their attorneys on how to make themselves look good. It's all a part It's all a part of them trying to make themselves look like good human beings and playing on a potential jury base and using their attempts to try to see their children. And any good defense attorney would say to themselves, I know that this is going to get shot down, but I need to put it out there. And that's the intention, and that's what they did there. You know, a criminal defense attorney's job is a difficult one because they are hated by a lot of people, especially when you're defending these kind of scumbags. You know, when you're defending people who stand accused of murdering their own children, this is a special kind of evil. It's a special kind of evil. So we always have to keep the victims and their families. I reached out to Roro today. She didn't answer me back. But, you know, I just sent her a message. I didn't reach out to Roro and say, hey, what's the new rumors? What's going on with Sincere and Classic? Is there anybody fighting? Is there anything I could talk about on YouTube that will make, you know, give me some extra attention? No. I sent Roro a message like, hey, how are you? How are you doing, my sis? Are you okay? I love you. I'm behind you. I respect you. That's what the message was to Ro. Not like, hey, could you give me some juicy gossip, something that nobody knows about that I could talk about and blab all over the internet? No, I care about her. I care about her family. I care about how they're feeling. I talked to Jennifer Nobles the other day. I got her on the phone and I said, how you doing, kiddo? How you doing? Are you okay? Right? Kathy Bates was on our members only live. She was having a down day on Sunday. She was having a down Sunday. And I got her up on the panel with me on my members only live stream. And I lifted her up along with the whole community. You know, that's what you do here. That's what we do. So if you're interested in respect, if you're interested about hearing about a police perspective, a detective's perspective on these cases, and no drama and no dragging people through the mud and no bashing, you know, people for what they believe in or what their ethnic or racial background or what their sexual preferences are. We don't do that. I don't do that here, and I never will, and I never have, and I won't. I will not condone it. I will not be friends or associate with anybody that does stuff like that. Let's keep it real and about the victims and their families, and let's do it the right way. So for those of you who are walking down those ugly YouTube streets and walking down those dirty alleys where you could really bring yourself into a dark hole, think about what you're doing. Think about who you are associating yourself with. You know, misery loves company, you know, and when people are miserable, they love to drag as many people into their misery hole as possible. And that is the truth. Get around people who are going to lift you up. Get around people who are going to support you, who are going to help you, and then you could help them back. Because it's a two-way street. One hand washes the other. There's Alyssa Acosta. She's a great friend of mine from the internet. We're following each other on Instagram, Facebook, and she has a YouTube channel. She does beauty, hair, and makeup. She's a wonderful young woman, a respectful young woman, and I'm honored to be friends with her. So there's a good friend of mine, Alyssa Acosta. Support her, get around her. She's all about positive vibes and love. I can't overemphasize how important life is short. Get around people who lift you up, not drag you down dirty places and bad rabbit holes, disgusting streets. You know, that's about all I got to say. There's my 30 minutes on my lunch break for you guys. I want to just say a special thank you to the Patreon supporters, again, the channel members, the folks who subscribe and leave positive comments. You guys are awesome. If you like educational, all things from a police and a detective's perspective, please consider becoming a part of this community. I won't let you down. You'll be in a good place, and you'll be in a place where you can be respected, and not have to worry about you expressing your opinion. You know what I mean? Expressing your opinion is an important thing, and you do it respectfully. You do it with respect. You do it with dignity. You do it when you honor the people who you're speaking about. Then you could say whatever you want to say here. But once it turns dirty and ugly and disrespectful, then it's done. You're done. All right, guys. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, but especially all victims of crime and their family across the globe, especially Sincere and Classic, and all of the ones we lost along the way. They need us now more than ever to support them. Summer Wells, and all of these new cases, and all of the people that need us to help and support them. Listen, you wouldn't ever want to be a victim of a crime or someone, a family member. They're going through hell right now, and they need you to support them. So stay true to yourself, and I'll see you on the next one. Love and respect from DutyRon. Thank you, guys. Thank you.